Spoiler warning. If you're anime only, obviously this video contains spoilers. It's about an ability that has not been shown in the anime yet. Not sure why you would click on this video otherwise if you're worried about spoilers. Anyways, it seems to me that a lot of the community just simply does not understand electricity, leading people to completely overhype and overestimate what Kashimo can do in his mythical beast amber form, or undermine and write him off completely. Which is understandable considering that he's only had 3 fights, and the first and only time he's ever shown what his technique can actually do, he immediately got waffled by Heian era Sukuna. However, when Gege wrote that Mythical Beast Amber allows Kashimo to control all electrical phenomena, that doesn't sound like a flavor description to me. It reads like a real physics statement about what he can do. And as an electrical engineer who not only studied but works in photonics, I feel uniquely qualified to explain this topic. Now, most people, when they think of electricity, they can only imagine lightning or an electrical shock, when in reality, that's sort of like saying that water is only rain. It's just a small slice of the full story. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but in 1865, James Clerk Maxwell proved that electricity and magnetism were not just 2 separate things, rather, they were 2 expressions of the same fundamental force, electromagnetism. Electromagnetism is one of 4 fundamental forces in the universe. It governs all chemical bonds, all photons of light, and every signal in your entire nervous system. Looking at the full electromagnetic spectrum, we can see that it covers radio waves, microwaves, infrared light, visible light, all of light, frankly, X-rays, gamma rays, etc. So when Gege wrote that Mythical Beast Amber Kashimo has control over all electrical phenomena, that includes all of this. Intentional or not, Gege essentially handed Kashimo full access to one of 4 fundamental forces in the universe. First, I'm going to start by breaking down what Gege actually showed us in the series. Now then, please forgive me. I'm going to be reading off to the side here as I read through his abilities. Quite frankly, I just started making these videos. Give me a break. I'm going to be reading off screen sometimes. First, his neural speed enhancement. Mythical Beast Amber explicitly increases agility by amplifying electrical signals in the brain. This is real neuroscience, not just flavor. For simplicity, let's just say that your reaction time is capped by the signal speed in your neurons. I know this is not the full science. I'm just not going to break down neuroscience when I'm already breaking down electricity. Anyways, your typical motor signals travel at about 70 to 120 meters per second. Now, if Mythical Beast Amber doubles signal propagation speed, reaction time compresses from 250 milliseconds, which is that of an average person, to 100 milliseconds, pushing into the range of a hummingbird's nervous system. This also explains the blitz on Sukuna at the start of the fight. It wasn't just raw strength, it was his nervous system operating beyond biological limits. Next, he was also shown to have resonance destruction, aka his roar. The lore says his sound waves, quote, optimize and tune the natural frequencies of substances. This is resonance physics. Every material has a resonance frequency. Hit it with enough energy at that exact frequency and the material tears itself apart from within. Like this is how singers can shatter wine glasses. See, the keyword here is tuning. When Kashimo screams, he's not just roaring, he's performing a spectral analysis on what are the frequencies of the materials he's targeting. He then applies this exact frequency to destroy it. Bone, steel, concrete, all of these have resonant frequencies that can be destroyed. Note that there is no current existing technology that can recreate this or do this on command. Kashimo figured this out mid-fight. Then he was also shown to have electromagnetic beams that can vaporize. His palm beams that can fire electromagnetic waves and vaporize targets map directly to energy weapons in real physics. Electromagnetic radiation at different frequencies destroys tissue differently. Microwave heats it from the inside out, UV damages DNA, X-ray ionizes cell, and gamma rays cause acute radiation syndrome at low doses, and total vaporization at extreme doses. So whenever he fires one of these beams, he's choosing where on the electromagnetic spectrum to operate. Then he was also shown to have some sort of X-ray vision. For some reason, he grew a third eye to do this and analyze Sukuna's true form through his tissue. X-rays are just EM radiation at a specific frequency. It passes through soft tissue and is absorbed by a dense material, which is literally what hospitals do for imaging. In a fight, real-time X-ray vision means Kashimo can not only see through walls, but see your bone structure, your organs, and then target the exact resonant frequency of whatever he wants to destroy. However, those are just the abilities that Kashimo was able to show off before Sukuna turned him into a Chick-fil-A french fry. But all electrical phenomena is a documented list in physics, so we can extrapolate what else he was able to do based off that statement. I mean, just imagine if he was able to control magnetism. And this isn't just like a fake thing. Electricity controls magnetism via current. This is known in Maxwell's equations. I'm not going to break it down for you. But if he could control magnetism, then he would just be making railguns out of thin air. Railguns use electromagnetic force to accelerate projectiles to 3 kilometers per second. Just Just imagine if he was whipping that out on the battlefield. Next, what if he could do bioelectric disruption? Controlling all of your bioelectrical signals in your body, in your brain. If he could really manipulate all electrical phenomena, then he could just take people over against their will. A targeted attack could stop your heart, seize your nervous system, lock all of your muscles down. Without ever making contact, he would be unstoppable. But then imagine if he could also wield a plasma jet. Lightning itself is already a plasma. But imagine if he was able to wield plasma, then he could do shit like reuse grenade blasts that we saw in the finale. Now, this last one I have written down here, induction heating, that was my favorite. Because like imagine if he could just boil a pot. But we did see a pretty cool example of what induction heating could do from Megumi's Nue. I have it short breaking it down here, but essentially this is what he could do. I digress. Kashimo didn't lose in his Mythical Beast Amber form because he's weak. He lost because Heineru Sukuna is quite frankly Jujutsu's Jesus. Alright, he has 4 arms, 2 mouths. There's arguably still no one better for Jujutsu than him. Like the fight was never fair one-on-one to begin with. This dude doesn't even have reverse curse technique. How is he supposed to survive a single slash if this guy can't regrow his arm? It's not a Kashimo problem, it's a Sukuna problem. The same way that losing to Gojo doesn't make somebody mid, losing to Sukuna doesn't make you mid either. In fact, less so. Now, if we're gonna place where Kashimo actually ranks in the verse, I would say that he's maybe above anybody in the Sendai colony. However, I don't think he necessarily beats Yuta easily, right? Fact of the matter is, Yuta's a complete monster. They both kind of have limits on their techniques where, you know, I'm sure Kashimo couldn't use Mythical Beast Amber forever, otherwise he would just stay in that form. And then Yuta only has 5 minutes on his technique, then after that he essentially becomes Kusakabe with more curse tools, maybe cleanly below Yuta. I don't think reverse curse technique and domain expansion guarantee you better than Kashimo. Quite honestly, if Kashimo had been in the Sendai colony, there would have never been a deadlock, in my opinion. A lot of the community's take on Kashimo is based on surface level observations, but if you look into the physics of it, he's actually one of the most broken characters in the verse. To close the video out, I thought we would break down the Mythical Beast Amber form. See, Mythical Beast Amber is not named after a creature at all. I'm going to be reading this one off. The word electricity in English comes from Neo-Latin electricus, which comes from the Greek electron meaning amber. In ancient Greek, the ancient Greeks discovered static electricity 2,600 years ago by rubbing amber rods against cat fur. Gege named this technique after the origin of electricity itself. It's pretty neat. You know, it's not a beast technique, it's about a man that becomes electricity. That's about it. Follow for more.